Okay, so I'd like to acknowledge consent, that consent is ongoing and fluid. And so this session is being recorded. The recording will be shared publicly on PAFNW's YouTube channel. And so by continuing in this meeting that you consent to be recorded, you're welcome to turn your camera off if you wish to. And so the intention is for these sessions to be recorded and shared publicly so that these teachings are available to any artists who wish to access them. And that we had quite a wait list for this course, and it was very hard to say no. And so just hoping that these teachings will be available to those who are not able to join us live here. And so also speaking of consent, that everything I say and ask of you throughout this course is an invitation. And so if you are asked to speak, if you are asked to present, or anything else, to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And that if there's anything that you wish to not participate in, that you can just say pass. You don't need to explain yourself if you don't wish to, and that we honor your boundaries. And so if you wish to have your camera off, if perhaps one evening you have less energy, and maybe you just want to participate through the chat even, so that there are multiple ways that you can participate, and that some days you might be full in and a chatterbox, and sometimes you might just want to sit back and listen. And so again, to give yourself what you need. And so without further ado, I am going to welcome Chief Janice George to share some words with us of inspiration. And well, I won't speak to what she's going to speak on, but Chief Janice, I would like to welcome you here, and I'm going to stop sharing the presentation so that everyone can see you.
Okay, good. Siyam, Mingwaktii, thank you for acknowledging my people. Thank you for acknowledging my ancestors. I also ask when we do these acknowledgements of our beautiful ancestors that were here, that we all work together and take care of this beautiful land that we're on, and spread that message that we need to take care of this beautiful place, so we can communicate that as something, an important message that needs to be heard throughout the world. But today we're in Squamish territory, and so I just wanted to pass along that message first. And thank you for inviting me here. I'm really honored to welcome you and to this exciting course. And I just wanted to say that everywhere we go, when we make contact and connect to this earth, it inspires us as artists. And I think just making a connection with the water, making a connection with the land, going for a walk, being an artist as well, I get so inspired by, walking this land and thinking about what our ancestors did to create, what our ancestors did to help us be here today and do this thing that we call art today, which in their time was something of a necessity. And I'm so proud that our ancestors were so ingenious to invent these things that we still use today and honor today. And I encourage you to go to your home ancestors and or connect with information from your ancestors and incorporate that not only into your work but into your heart. And I think when what makes us as Indigenous people unique is something that is important to the world, and the world is understanding that. And I always say science will catch up with us one day. All of these things that we know and we've been talking about from the beginning of time, scientists are saying, well, what do you know? These there is energy in water, or, things that they're just finding out. Oh, people were here before the ice age, or, all of these things that, they're important for us to know, but they're important messages that we can give to the world and enlighten the world. And I think it's important to do that, because I think the more we can help people have a connection to the earth, to the land that they're living on, the better people will take care of it. So I'm really, I'm a little bit jealous that you're taking this course and I'm not, but it sounds like fun. And I just want to thank you for inviting me. And I just hope you have a wonderful, wonderful class, wonderful course. Thank you.
Thank you, Matna, Chief Janice. And I meant to do this before, and I don't have any quarters, but I have dimes that spirits have left me. And so these are an acknowledgement of the offering that PAFNW has offered Chief Janice. And so these are representative of that in exchange for her time and energy here. So, thank you. Okay. And so, and just before Chief Janice, I'm sure you're busy, but before you depart, is there anything that anyone might want to ask in regard to your own creative journey? Chief Janice has had so much experience and coming from reclaiming a teaching that was, I mean, largely unpracticed in its traditional forms. And so each of us here have different approaches to our own arts practices. And I'm sure we'll get to know each other a bit more and learn more about that. But is there anyone who had a question in regard to Chief Janice's journey as an artist and reclaiming her cultural practices? And I guess maybe this is where we're in the shy times. We don't know each other yet.
Well,
actually, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, hi, my name is Jelena. I just wanted to know, like, how long before you actually found your creative side? Like, how long it took you before you found that side?
Oh. The strange thing about my creative side is that I remember being in the crib at this house that my parents had. It was a 2-bedroom house, and I have 5 sisters and my parents, and it was probably about 600 square feet down in Mission Reserve. And I remember being in the crib, and I had made something, or I had drawn something or something, and my aunt looked at me in the crib, and she was like, "Oh, that's beautiful, you're an artist." And I remember that. And I don't know how old I was, and but I remember that. And I have been to art school. I did my time. I loved art school. I went to Cap University and did textile arts there, and also went to the Institute of American Indian Arts in Santa Fe, New Mexico, which was like living a dream. And meeting up with Navajo weavers and just artists from all over the world. And I think I learned probably 80% from the other students and probably 20% from the professors, just because there was so much shared in between each other. And all of the students shared with each other. And so I remember just going there and just felt at home. And I think really when I decided that I wanted to be a weaver is when I just before I was a teenager, I would see this photograph. I don't know if people have seen it. It's taken in 1906. And it was a photograph of the BC chiefs when they were going to England to talk to King Edward VII about our land issues. They were worried about our land at that time, and they were trying to take care of our land at that time. And the women had woven them robes to wear. And so all of the chiefs were standing there in these beautiful robes and headdresses. And I thought, I want to do that. I want to do that. It's so beautiful. It's so, they look like kings. And I want to do that. And that's when I realized I had to weave. Not that I wanted to, I had to. And it took me many years to find someone who at the time was teaching. So we found somebody who was teaching in 2003 and started teaching in 2004. And I think, I'm really grateful I was able to do that. And I think everything I did in my life, like going to those 2 art schools, led up to being a good weaving teacher. And that to me is most important. And then coming home and learning from my 90-something-year-old grandmother who learned from her grandmother, so connected to pre-contact times, the teachings that go with the weaving, and knowing that is so important to our people. Something that, because I think everything that our people did, canoe building, weaving, gathering medicines, everything our people did just fit into this beautiful, beautiful puzzle that, if we're missing one piece, we have to build it. We'll still build, but we'll have to build around it. And but once you find part of the puzzle, I feel like I feel like it's so dimensional. I mean, I feel like we can go forward and backward in time when we learn to do these things. I think that gives us the ability to communicate with our ancestors. And literally, my grandmother told me, when you sit at the loom, and if you run into a problem, you call on your namesake. My namesake was my 7 generations back grandfather. And my first name that I got when I was born, given to me by my great grandmother, was her grandmother's name. So it would be my great great grandmother, which is 7 generations as well. So if I run into a problem at the loom, I will call on them. And yes, they do come and help. It's very, very, it's so strong. And I encourage you to do that. It's what makes us Indigenous. It's what makes Salish weaving. It's because it's, done with those teachings that are passed on by our ancestors. That's what makes it Salish weaving. So I encourage you to hold that thought and hold those prayers and lean on those ancestors, because they'll come.
And I'll keep your words in mind always. I mean, that's very lovely of you to explain to me how you got into it. Beautiful, actually. I'll always keep that in mind, though, for my journey on my way to being where you are. Thank you.
Ocean.
Miigwech.
Dance, may I ask a question?
For sure.
Dance, Chief Janice George, it's an honor and a pleasure to meet you and to listen to your words. I was wondering, through everything that you have experienced as an artist, if you could go back to at the start, maybe when you're going through a tough time or something, what would the best piece of advice you would give yourself?
We all, as artists, we're going to create art because it's something like I was saying, it's not something I wanted to do. It's something I had to do. And I feel like, you know, as artists, we will find a way. And I think one of the things that's important that a lot of people don't think of, that we've had to do a lot of, to have, you know, classes and get materials to teach and, you know, restart something in the community, is write grants. Look for grants and find the right people who could help you do that. And so that's really important. That's important. And I would have done that sooner if I, you know, had more, if I was a little bit, you know, felt a little, what is it? What is the word? If I was more positive about that part, you know, I wasn't confident. That's the word. I can't even think of that word now. Not, but anyway, I wasn't as confident then to look for grants and write for grants. And it's something that it's not you just do it. You just jump in and do it. You know, it's and it is important to do that, to you know, that, to help yourself that way. And that's what I find important. I advise people to do that. Look into it, learn it, research it. You know, there's Canada Council, there's First Peoples, and there's all of these granting people. And, you know, print it off, look at it, fill it, you know, practice filling it in. And, you know, those kind of things would be, you know, a great thing. I advise people to do that.
ᒦᖒઅᖅՏայ Siyam.
Billy, do you have a question?
I had a question for Chief Janice George about grant writing and how we get past that hurdle of asking government for money that is traditionally ours.
True. But if we can't access it another way, if that's the way we have to access it, then, you know, then we're going to just have to learn how to, I don't want to say play their game, but we just have to learn how to, as you said, pass that hurdle. It is a hurdle, and it's, you know, it's
But do you feel by jumping over that hurdle and playing the game that you are playing their game? This is a tough question for me. I look at opportunities that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like if there is an opportunity, that we should take every opportunity we can. That's how I feel about it. You know, if there's grants out there to be had, then, you know, write for the grants. And yes, go out there and, you know, like my father always said, nobody's going to change things for you. You're going to have to change them yourself. You know, if you want to change that part, which is, you know, which is a hurdle, you know, we're going to have to figure out how we're going to run that ourselves, run that granting program ourselves.
Have you ever been involved with programs that are run by yourself or run by ourselves as opposed to government funded programs? And
I have. Yep.
and what's your experience with those? You
mean granting programs? Have I ever been on a granting board? Is that what you're saying? Or
I'm just asking if if you have positive or negative reactions to those situations.
Well, I there was one board I'm on, and when we had an opportunity to give out grants, I suggested that they make it easier for people to apply and not make people jump through hoops. And if people say they have to do ceremony, then don't question what they ask for ceremony. I think once we get into that position, which I think we should all strive to get in that position, you know, I think it'll be better.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Amasay and Miinguuaqtii, we say Amasay. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will speak more to that in week 6, which is specifically about grant writing and how I've personally discovered that it's a very prayerful practice where I'm asking Creator for what I wish to create in the world. And so when I'm going to that governing body, and it could be government, could be wherever, that I'm in a way bypassing that body and going to Creator and writing what I wish and what I desire to create in my reality from my heart. And that, as Chief Janice said, that it wasn't a want to create, it is a need to create. And I find that when you're doing the thing you're meant to be doing, you're helped on your path. And so that's how I approach grant writing first, is from my heart. And when I didn't do that, it was a very, very challenging process. And now it's actually something that I really, truly enjoy. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you.
Great. Another thing about the grants that we've written for as well, I think to be successful at what you're doing is to also bring other people with you. So if you have a chance to write for a grant and have a class and teach a class, or, you know, to write for a grant for that, that's amazing. You know, that's what we've done for 18 years. You know, the grants we have written for are to teach people. And I think that is so meaningful. I think we all should mentor someone. We should be mentors for each other. You know, whoever comes and seeks help, if they want to invest themselves, then you know, they could be brought in as well, brought along, because it's more fun. The more people, the more fun it is.
Hi.
Also, if you're a treaty status, your reserve should be able to provide a grant. My reserve, I'm from Saging First Nation, Manitoba. They provide $2,500 grant for people who are doing like regalia and whatever, right? As long as they're artists, like, yeah, they provide a grant for that. So yeah, that also comes in handy.
That's nice.
Okay, those were some wonderful questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so again, very grateful and honored, humbled to have you here, Chief Janice. And thank you so much for those words and starting us off in a good way.
Take care.
Matna. Okay. So before we get started with the rest of the introductions, just a brief housekeeping note. I just want to make sure that everyone here is part of our class. And so I've got someone signed in as Galaxy A11. And I'm wondering if you are able to please tell me your name. Anybody? I also have someone signed in as Sound M.
Hi, Sound M is me, Michelle Sound. That's signed in on my work computer so that I can see the presentation better, but it doesn't have a webcam.
Oh, okay. No worries.
So that's why there's two. Thanks.
Okay, so Sound M is one, and then you're also signed in as Michelle. That's correct?
And that's the one I can talk from.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Okay. And then the galaxy, I'm wondering if someone is using that for their sound. Sorry. Trying to find them. And I apologize, our Zoom tech is under the weather this evening. So typically each week I'll have a staff member supporting, but this week it's just me. So I apologize for this little lag here. Okay, so.
Hi, Jessica. It looks like to me like Galaxy A11 is, they definitely are maybe having trouble with the turning on their microphone.
Oh,
but I can see them on the screen.
thank you.
Yeah.
I've just sent a request asking to unmute. Okay.
Yep, did it.
Wonderful. What is your name, please?
My name is Trevor Kelly.
Hi, Trev. Appreciate that. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to screen share back to the presentation. And so we're going to do some introductions. And we're going to be going on a 7-week journey together. And from my past experience with the courses I've been blessed to guide, that it's become quite intimate. And we share some things and we go deep, and it's never really planned, but that we'll get to know each other kind of closely, especially speaking of our art, right? We create that from deep within. And so it's very personal. And as we are going to be writing artist statements and doing these deep dives into our identity as artists, that that it'll get intimate. So I'd like us all to introduce ourselves within the circle, and so that we can start putting a face to a name. And so this is just a suggestion here of, you can share your name, your pronouns, telling a bit about yourself and how you're feeling right now. And then perhaps if you're stuck, that you could tell us about your creative practice briefly. Why do you love art? Why are you here in this course, or what you hope to learn? But there are quite a few of us. And so we've got about 25 minutes for everyone to share, and there's over 20 people. So I'm saying maybe a 1-minute introduction if you can. And so I'll leave that up here, but actually, so that we can see everyone's face, maybe I will actually turn that. I'll stop sharing so that we can see everyone on camera a bit better. Okay, so I will start. My name is Jessica Miinguuaqtii. I am the Arts Administrator for Pacific Association of First Nations Women. I am so grateful. I actually woke up today feeling almost like I did as a child on like my birthday or Christmas. I was like, tonight I get to meet artists. And so I am so blessed. I wrote a grant to offer this course. This course is a result of previous courses that I was blessed to guide through PAFNW, and through interacting with other artists of various, I don't even like the word levels, because I mean, and I love how when folks were filling out their applications, some were like, well, I'm a novice in this and I'm an expert in this. And so that these labels are so limiting. So being on previous journeys with artists of all different skill levels, all different multitudes, let's say, that this was a request about learning how to, okay, I'm creating art. now what do I do with it? How do I put it out in the world? How do I present myself? How do I support myself? And so a lot of conversations would start to include that. And so I was like, we need more time. So this course was birthed as a result of that. And so I wrote the grant, and I thought also that it's hard for artists sometimes to be able to take time away. It's challenging enough to be doing our regular daily things, perhaps also family, and then finding time to create, and then taking a course. And I was like, how can I better support artists? And so each of you will be paid a living wage subsidy to attend. So for every session, sorry, this is more into the course outline than my introduction, but circling back, I'm so excited. I am so excited and grateful and honored to be here with each of you, and knowing that I'm going to learn so much from you, as much as I hope to be able to give. And so that's how I am feeling. And I think throughout the course of the course, you will learn the answers to the other things, why I love art and whatnot. So I think that's my 1 minute. And we can do this popcorn style, where you can just turn your microphone on and go next. I know there's quite a few of us, but I have faith that it will work. Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna go first. Oh, hang on, turning on my camera. Hi, I'm Jelena Abraham. The reason why I want to take this course is because I've been doing art ever since I was maybe 13-ish, and like my preference of freehand style drawing is of like faces, like pictures of people, portraits. I'm about that. Otherwise, other freehand drawings, it's usually like tattoo style. But lately, I've been getting more into my artwork from back home. I have like the Woodlands art, because I'm a Ojibwe from Manitoba. I'm living in Vancouver now. That's how I know of the program here. Anyhow, I wanted to incorporate that into like the regalia that I've been making lately. I want to put more like Woodlands art towards like the regalias that I make. I make grass dance regalia. I can make women's fancy shawl regalia. Like I've been trying a lot. So, and right now I kind of feel a little nervous because I'm usually very shy to talk on camera, but here I am doing my best. So I'm just happy to be here and to learn and get experience from the program. So thank you for inviting me, and I am glad to participate.
Thank you, Matna. Who's next?
I'll go next. Hello everyone. I'm Lisa Webster. I am Mohawk, Delaware, or Ganagahage Lenape on my mom's side. My mom's family is from the Six Nations of the Grand River in Ontario, and my dad's family is fourth generation Scottish settlers. I understand they were sheep stealers, and that's how they ended up here. Not sure what that says about me. And I am wanting to get out of this course a sense of no longer feeling like an imposter. I started doing art as a way of healing and getting to know myself better and to know who I am and what my identity is. And so part of what brought me here is just the idea that, can I sell my healing? Because that's what the art has been for me. And so I'm really wanting to explore that through this course and how learning, you know, where all this sits in the scheme of things. So Nyawa, thank you. And I'm gonna actually pass this along to Harmony if Harmony's okay with that. No? Okay. Here, I'm giving you the
Oh, there we go. I know how to unmute this. not really. I am Harmony. I have been doing art since I was little. But recently, I mean, years ago, my mom started doing our ancestry, and we always knew that we were First Nations, but we never really knew where we fit in. And I'm kind of in that lost generation of people who we lost family to residential schools, and it's just now being discovered, all of our connections. And I feel like not only an imposter when I say I'm an artist, but I'm really struggling as well with my place within the community. And that's been, it's kind of, I just want to find where I belong in the world, because I've never felt like I did. And ultimately, I do want to teach art therapy. That's where I feel like my energy would be best suited. But we'll see where it takes me. And that's me.
Much Harmony. Trev, would you like to go next as your microphone's on?
Oh, yeah, sure. Hi, this is Trevor Kelly. I'm from Swally Reserve, one of 23 bands of the Stelo Nation, Chilliwack. Basically, I'm a photographer. Just did it as a hobby for pretty well my whole life. I took photography in about grade 8, I think it was, St. Mary's, and it was the only thing that really motivated me to do anything there. I actually love it. So the only positive thing out of there, really. And I just want to be able to share the stuff, because I've been collecting it for years. I'm 60 years old now. So I always said later. Well, it's getting later. So basically my stuff is photography. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. It's basically 1/100th of a second, and it's gone. So my whole idea is you're seeing through my native eyes. This is what I see. So this is what I share. And that's about it. Thank you.
Matna, thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Angelina Goslin. I am from Haisla Nation up north. I have always been in the Stalo territory. I know people are talking about where they belong, and I am been placed in the territory just because I'm from the 60 Scoop, and I'm always been learning. And so hearing people say they're trying to learn where they belong, I know Indigenous people are just, because of the circumstances of our people, we are where we are. So we're learning how to be. So for me, the first time I kind of learned about art was a grade 3 class and one teacher. And that was my first time I learned about art. And it was just drawing in. It wasn't just drawing on a piece of paper. It was actually the fundamental forms of drawing. And like that drew me to art. And cedar weaving was my first aspects of learning about my Indigenous side. And that was me when I was probably about 29. And I've always wanted to know more about my Indigenous side. And so that was me learning through art. I didn't have the ability to learn more about my art side because I was busy raising kids. And it was just the parts I wanted to know. So for me, it was photography, and I did the photography, the developing and all of that. But the Indigenous side of me wanted more of my Indigenous artistic side. So for me, it's cedar weaving, beadwork, still the photography, but it's really the form line drawing and form line painting and all of that. And today I feel really great because I had your email that I was one of the people that were on the wait list and I got to come into the class. And I'm very excited for this class because I get to meet other artists and to learn. And what I wanted to learn from this class was more grant writing. I tried one back when the Olympics were in Canada. And I really wanted to know more about grant writing for local and smaller. That was like a big wish back then to see if I can get cedar weaving in the Olympics. But that was just to try to learn the steps like you were saying. So I'm very excited for this class. Thank you for your time.
Matna, Angelina.
Go next. My name's Leslie Grant. I'm originally from the Nisga'a and ᒦᖒʌ and Tsimshian Nation. I am a Indigenous artist that I like to paint and draw to the form line. Not really good at talking very much, so the one that drew me to this program was the artist bio and statement, and then the pricing of my work. That one has always been hard for me to do, and then also the grant writing. Thank you.
Matna, Leslie. And I know we have another Leslie. Would you like to go next?
Sure. Sorry, let me just share my camera. My name is Leslie Parent. I go by the pronouns she, her. I've been doing art since as long as I can remember. But the one area I'm really gifted is actually beading and sewing, so mostly textiles. I went to school for fashion design, so I kind of went off in that direction, but then always I get distracted, and I'll have a stint of I had a stint of watercolors, and then like a form line style. Well, I have a form line style that I kind of just play around with, but I feel kind of like I'm not allowed to do that kind of art because I'm not from that nation. So I don't really know any rules around how that would work. I'm actually Métis. Woodland is a style I really like and I will play around with too. I'm a big fan of Norval Moroso. I had a stunt in stained glass. Then I got interested in pointillism and weaving. I did a photography all through high school, but I haven't ever focused to get really good at one thing. So I guess focusing and getting really good at one thing and learning how to, get grants. Actually, that's the one thing that really interested me in this course. And I guess just meeting other artists. This is actually quite exciting. I got more excited when you started talking about it, but so I guess that's all I have to say. I don't want to take up too much more time.
Matna, Leslie. Who's next?
Hi, I'll jump in. Very excited to be here and to be amongst people that are creative. It's very important to me. I've always been around creative people. And while I haven't done any true form line art, it's what interests me. I've been around artists that have done that and supported them to do that. But I'm very much interested in resistance art and looking to see how this would help me on that journey.
Matna. And so everyone, that was Billy. Don't think we caught your name there, but thank you.
Yeah, I'll give my introduction. I'm Billy. I'm Gitxsan. I'm from the Miinguuaqtii Nation, which is between Terrace and Smithers. We're a group of 6 villages there. My grandmother's Molly Harris, my great-grandmother's Irene Ada Harris, and we're one of 6 villages in the Gitxsan Nation from Miinguuaqtii.
Matna Billy.
Can go.
Okay.
Danse. My name is Adelma. I am Nehia and Métis, so Cree and Métis. My mom is Cree and my father's Métis. I am a disabled multimedia artist. Sorry, I don't even have my video on. So I'm a carver, a hide tanner, and a bead artist. And I've never had any professional training in art. So this I've been looking forward to this course just to have a more professional take on everything that, all the other stuff that you use as an artist to present yourself and your work to the world. And I'm really nervous. So thank you.
Matna.
Oh,
No, thank you. Go ahead.
sorry. What? Okay. Can you guys hear me? My name's Jenna. My art name is Jenna Night Sky, that I've gone by since I was a teenager. Pop up. I'm Ojibwe, Anishinaabe. My family comes from Shoal Lake number 40 in Ontario. So I'm a long ways from home. I'm a 60s scoop survivor, and I've lived in BC, I think since I was about 5. So grateful to be here. Generally, I paint and I draw, and I love ceramics. I'm a potter. And I've made art, but I've never made Indigenous art necessarily, because I feel sort of a disconnect, like getting back in touch with family. I'm not Native enough for them, and I don't connect with non-Indigenous people very well because I'm too Native for them. So it's kind of a weird place to be identity wise, and but I keep making art and I'm hoping to eventually kind of cross over and discover that part, because I have very strong memories growing up with Indigenous women around me beading and making moccasins and mittens and drums and tanning moose hides in our house, and it stank. I don't know, I could just go on and on. I'm really glad to be here. I'm glad you guys gave me a chance, and I'm excited to see where this goes. So thank you very much. Mute.
I can go next. Sorry, I'll put this on. Hi, my name is Michelle Sound. I was born and raised in Vancouver. My mom is Cree. She's a member of Swan River First Nation in Northern Alberta, Treaty 8 territory. And my dad's side is Métis, Buffalo Lake Métis settlement in Alberta. I'm a visual artist, and I have my professional, post-secondary degrees in visual arts, but we are never taught there. And we all complain about it, that we're not taught how to do any of the professional business side of being an artist. We just kind of have to stumble along and figure that out. So I'm excited to learn more about that. I had many years, I'm a single mom, and many years where my son was very small, where I couldn't make any artwork. So He's gotten older now, so I've had a lot more time to be able to commit to my practice. So I'm really interested in grant writing because I've never really done any of that. So thank you for including me. Thanks.
Hi, my name's Patience. I am Cree and descendant from the Cree and ᒦᖒઅᖅՏAI nations. My grandmother is Cree Métis from northern Alberta. My grandfather is from BC Morristown area. Currently, I am working on creating a clothing brand and with beaded components. And I've been exploring working with canvas and acrylic or oil paints lately. I guess I'm here to network and always interested in seeing what other people are doing and supporting you guys' businesses, and also to give myself the push I need to believe in myself and my artwork. So with that, I guess I hope to learn grant writing and how to price my work would be helpful moving forward. Thank you.
I can go next. My name is Chantal Musgrove, and I have Mi'kmaq ancestry on my mom's side. But my grandfather called himself Métis, but he was from Eastern Canada, and his family was. We've done more research and found out that we have Mi'kmaq roots. And I have a degree in studio arts from Concordia, but I finished that in 2006. So, and I've been a school teacher for the last 7 years, teaching in elementary schools and teaching elementary art, which is a lot of fun. And I'm just taking some time off work right now. So I guess it's been about 7 years of just focusing on being a teacher and not taking any courses for myself. So I'm just really excited to have some time to focus on that and to meet other artists for, because yeah, it's just been so long since I've taken any classes. And usually I do lots of painting and drawing, and but lately I've been trying to do lots of embroidery. So I'd like to, it's a turtle. I'd like to make drawings that look like embroidery, where every little space is filled in. So that's kind of my idea. But yeah, I'm excited to see what everyone else makes. And yeah, and I really like the idea of exploring traditional art and contemporary art, and seeing how those two worlds can be blended. And yeah, it's really nice to meet all of you. Thank you. Pechka.
Oh, Jacqueline, we can't hear you. No, not yet. Oh no. Okay, hopefully we get that sorted out. Wonderful to see your face. Jacqueline, is it an issue with your computer? Are you able to, do you need some support? Okay. Okay, you might be able to try calling in from your phone if you want to try to sort out the audio that way. Or maybe I can help you at the break. Okay.
I guess I'll introduce myself. My name's Cole. I am Ojibwe. I'm not really sure from what nation, but it's through my grandmother on my father's side. I've been doing and creating artwork since I was a teen, and I used art as a way to kind of carve out a space for myself and kind of, it's kind of like making my own place, really. And I really hope to gain the skills to be able to navigate the professional art world in a more capable capacity. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Basilia, but I go by Sia, and I'm extremely nervous right now. I'm kind of shaking. Hi, but it's nice to see a couple friendly faces. I come from Treaty 4 territory on my mother's side. My mother is Cree from the Cowicess First Nations band in Saskatchewan, and my father is Mayan from Guatemala. I did a little bit of video in 2008. I did a film about residential school, about the effects that it has on the generation after. It's called Residential Truth Unified Future. I helped create it. I also am into poetry and into film. I kind of am a noob artist. It's because I think I've always been around art. My dad was an artist from Guatemala. He was a carver. He got taught by Richard Louis, and my stepfather-in-law, his name is Derek Wilson, and he was also a carver. And I just was sad because I never really took advantage of it, of sitting with them. And like with my dad, he left, or he got deported in 1992 and went back to where he's from. But I think for myself, I have a learning disability, so I'm severely dyslexic. I didn't know how to read until I was about 17. So I've always spoken, and I think that for me, that goes back to oral traditions as oral stories. And I think it's important for me as artists to create our history from our opinions and from our voices, because for so long, it's been from a perspective of a different person. And so I'm hoping to learn, I'm here hoping to learn more confidence as an artist. So thank you, Haichka.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cindy. I am Chilcotin and Secwepemc and Norwegian. And I have been looking for something like this for a while. I knew that I needed to get organized and that I could, one of my hopes was that I wanted to maybe make a bigger impact or like have a longer term commitment to, I guess like not even really being an artist, but being able to share art with other people. And so when I saw this, I immediately sat down and filled out the application and really pushed myself to think of myself as an artist. And a lot of the work that I've done, so I guess, I don't know if the correct word is multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary artist, but I sing and drum and paint and draw, and I'm a creative facilitator, so I can lead a lot of, like even dance or theater games, like also I can kind of like get people to do a lot of creative things without them really realizing what they're doing. And so as I wrote the application, I realized, oh, I think I'm an artist, and I think I need to, like, in order for me to write the grant, I actually have to be an artist. And I think maybe I am. And then at the very end, when I saw the last question, it was like, show proof of your work. I was like, oh no, because a lot of the work that I do is just, you know, in private for communities or organizations. And I was thinking I don't have any proof. And so then I went and started looking and like found a bunch of proof. I was like, I just wasn't paying attention. It was like building up over time. And yeah, I'm really excited. After I wrote the application, I then completely changed my CV and ended up getting like a creative contract. And I'm going to be working with youth and being able to, you know, incorporate whatever they're most interested in creatively, helping them to get more connected with their language and culture within my Chilcotin Nation. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm happy to be here. I recognize a few people here, so really happy to be here with everyone. Thank you.
What? Oh, where is it?
I can go next. Kwe, Jasmine, Indigenous Cause, Pikwakanagan, Indodem. Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine. I'm originally from Ontario, and on my mom's side, we're from the Algonquins of Pikwakanagan First Nation. And on my dad's side, we're of settler descent. And I've been living in BC for just over a year. So I've gotten to participate in a few of the programs through this organization. So seeing this come up was actually really awesome. Yeah, I think for me, the arts have always been like, I don't know if a rock and a hard place is the right way to put it, but just having a very creative approach to things, and then having, I guess you would call it mentors who are like, that's not sufficient for when you're like an adult, like how are you going to make a living off of that? So always kind of fighting that internal battle of just kind of like values and like what you were kind of raised with. And last year I took a few months to kind of like explore what like my creative endeavors are and applied it to like some small business things. So I started that last year, but kind of got, I guess, a bit dragged down with social media, and just like looking to create community there. And also like if a lot of people are like, where can I buy your artwork? And I'm like, I guess I could do this. But it just really bogged me down. So I think that for me, just kind of recalibrating in this space of enjoying the work that you're doing and really connecting to like that sense of purpose behind your art is really important for me. And yeah, art that I do beadwork, I do collage, and I draw as well. I'm kind of into like fashion and design, but I haven't done as much with that because I'm not as confident. Yeah, and then I guess things I'm excited to learn. I think I've been like on the back end of the grant process where I've been like an adjudicator, but I haven't applied for as many grants. So I think learning more about that and getting more confidence in that realm would be awesome. Just because like, I guess in line with like my upbringing, just like arts isn't like a sustainable living. I didn't really have a lot of access to resources where I grew up. So just kind of getting out of that mindset and knowing that there's like so much more to be experienced, and I'm looking forward to experiencing it with you folks. So miigwech.
Hi, my name is Priscilla Amulo. I'm a Sartlip First Nation, so I'm from Vancouver Island. I've been a visitor here on Coquitlam territory for almost 10 years. My pronouns are she, her, hers. That is my son you hear. He is 2 and he's tired. I'm feeling grateful to be here. I'm very excited to meet you all. And I do like mixed media. I mix some traditional with non-traditional forms. Yes, lately I've been cedar weaving on canvas. I'm hoping to learn about the grant writing as well, and how to sell art, as I have yet to sell my art. I've been I donated some for an auction for a nonprofit. I've had it showing, but I've not actually sold anything, because that for me, you know, as was mentioned earlier, art is healing. So I feel like taking that healing and then selling it feels kind of weird. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to learning as much as I can. Hi, Chika.
There's still about 3 or 4 more people left to share. If you don't wish to share, that's absolutely fine. But right now, I think we're waiting on Brandon, Susan, Jen, and maybe Jacqueline, if we can get that sound sorted out.
Hi, I'm Jennifer LaRue. I am a Simp Sequemic, and I am, I've just, over the year, I've been beading. This is something that was taught to me in a class that I was taking with a bunch of other, you know, families that were there to learn. And we're all just different nations. So there's nothing, you know, specific, you know, we're just simply beading. And this hobby has turned into something quite enjoyable, something I really like, you know, to do when I'm able to. I do have 5 young children. The youngest is 2, and that can be a challenge. So can you hear me okay? Oh, okay, good. Yes, it could be a challenge, but I get around it. Just, you know, once in a while when the kids are good and quiet and or at school, you know, things like that. I guess I've recently, you know, sold some of my art to an art gallery, and I'm actually proud of that. So some of it's there. I still have a long way to go. I still have a lot to learn. You know, I definitely have some work to do with my development and some learning, you know, culturally and myself, you know, like many of us, removed from culture. So I'm still, you know, learning from the bottom up and trying to reconnect and gain knowledge of my beautiful culture as well as others, and learned, I guess, respectively how to do my art, and you know, in a way that is you know, a good way. Thank you very much for your time.
Hello, my name is Brandon Provencher. I'm from Spasm, which is in the ᒦᖒઅᖅતાй territory, just about 2 hours out of Vancouver. I do a lot of digital art, so I really like the graphic design, and I also have like apps on my iPad where I just draw with the pencil. I'm also a storyteller, writer, so I actually have a short story that came second in a contest, so I'm excited about that. I can't wait to see what this course has to offer. I'm excited to be here with everyone. And yeah, thank you.
Susan, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay, I don't know if I'm on screen or not, sorry. My name's Susan Kostick, and I'm a Dene artist. My family is from Fort Liard in the Northwest Territories. I live on Vancouver Island. I'm half Dene and half like 4th generation Canadian with German background. I'm really happy to be here. This is a fantastic program. I'm looking forward to it. I'm formally trained as a visual artist from the University of Victoria, but I haven't been creating art for the last 15 years. I've had children, life, not interfere, but take up a lot of my energy. So I have a bit more energy these days to put towards doing artwork. I do own a art gallery here in the Cowichan Valley. I have about 25 artists. I've always worked in the arts, whether it's for arts councils or art galleries, custom frame shops. But now it's finally time for me to discover my artistic side a bit more. And that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Matna. I believe that is everyone who is presently online. I've got a list going here, but if there's anyone who hasn't spoken yet and would like to, please do. I think that's everyone though. So interrupt me if you haven't and you still want to go. Okay, so we are well past the halfway mark. So, and we still got a bit of ground to cover. So I'm going to say, let's have a 5-minute bio break. And I will do my very best to give you a 10-minute break for the rest of the week sessions. But I'd really like to fit in the short art activity. So let's say 5 minutes back at 7:25. Stretch your legs, get a cup of tea, and pardon me, please, if you'd like to participate in the art activity, 4 pieces of paper and either black paint and a paintbrush or some sort of black mark making tool, pencil, crayon. See you in 5. Okay, welcome back, everyone. That felt like a very short 5 minutes. And if you need a few more moments, that's okay. We've got 35 minutes left, and I'm hoping we can fit in this brief art activity and then going over the code of conduct, the course outline, and then a optional brief homework assignment. So let's see everything in divine timing, but let's try to be efficient. And that's more me speaking to myself. And so I'd like to say, I love what I'm seeing going on in the chat with this community and creative energy flowing already. And one of the things I'm very excited about offering in this course is something called a Mighty Network. And you may or may not be familiar with it already. Mighty Networks is an online platform that is like, you can create your own social network. And so with the previous courses, we've created these wonderful tight-knit groups and being like, well, what happens after the course? How do we stay in touch? How do we continue to share? And being like, oh, well, we can make a Facebook group. Not everyone's on Facebook. Not everyone wants to be on Facebook. Some people don't use Instagram, and that's kind of just individual chatting. And so we're like, how do we create this container? And so I found Mighty Network. So I am building the Mighty Network. It should be ready for you to join it next week if you wish. And so there is, the course content is going to be in there. And so I will give you kind of a tutorial. I'll screen share it and show you how to get in there, kind of how it works. And that way you can share photos of your artwork with each other. There will be a chat forum for the course. So you can continue the conversation outside of class time if you wish, and sharing resources. And so I was also nervous in my introduction. And so I neglected to share my pronouns, she, her, and yeah, and say where I'm from or any of that too. So I'm seeing this in the chat. And so on the Mighty Network, you get to create a profile. And so that will be, you'll be in the PAFNW Arts Program Mighty Network. And then there will be a cohort for this particular course. And then the previous arts courses that we offered, those students will have the option of being onboarded as well. So you can expand your network outwards to other incredible Indigenous artists that I've been blessed to create with. And so that will give you some more information on that a little bit later on. But just so you know that this amazing chat connection that's going on here, we're going to expand that outwards if you wish to do so. Another option through the Mighty Network, slow down. Another option through the Mighty Network is to have the Zoom meeting right within there. And so I'm still testing some things out. I've used the network as a student of a course, but creating the network from this end, I'm still learning some things. So this is also a test run that we're doing it for this course to see if it will be something that supports us for our future offerings. So yeah, your feedback and suggestions are welcome in regard to that new experience. So hopefully that bought also a little bit of time for folks coming back from the break. And so I'm now going to guide you through an art exercise. And so part of the, I don't know the word that I want here. Part of the format of this course is I've set an intention that every week when we come back from our hopefully 10-minute break, that there will be a creative exercise. And so this is just after we have our minds full of ideas and go and take care of ourselves for 10 minutes, coming back and connecting into maybe a more creative energy. This course is not an arts practice course, but as we are all artists, I wanted to create a little bit of time in there to tap into that. So if you have your 4 pieces of paper, I invite you to lay them out in front of you so that you have access to all of them at once. And so you're going to need to have them right in front of you. And I'm going to give you a set of instructions. And those of you who have taken a course with me before have done this already. And this is an activity that, oh, sorry, someone is trying to enter the course. this is an activity that I was taught. This was shared with me by another artist when I was just starting out, and it was great. It was transformational for me. And so every course I've ever taught since then, this exercise is always the first thing that we do. And so I'm going to change it a little bit for those of you who have already done it, just so that it's not exactly the same. So 4 pieces of paper in front of you. Get your art making, mark making tool ready. And I'm going to give you a set of instructions. And it's going to be draw or paint. I'm probably going to say paint, but you do whatever you're doing. Paint a spaceship. It's not going to be a spaceship, but paint a spaceship very quickly, as fast as you can, on each of the 4 pages. So spaceship, 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 spaceship. I can't even say it that quickly. And then I'm going to say paint a canoe. And you're going to go canoe, 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 canoe. And I'm just going to keep going. Paint this and this and this and this. And you just really quickly. And when I do it in person, normally when the first person is done, I give the next instruction. So everyone's trying to catch up. It's not about what it looks like. It's about stop thinking and just get into the doing. Don't overthink it. I might say something and you might think, what does that instruction mean? Just go with it. Whatever you think it means is what it means. So everyone ready? And this is just an exercise. Take the pressure off. I hope you enjoy it. Some people really love it. Some people find it challenging. So please paint a happy square. And maybe if you're done, if you could, in the reactions tab, maybe do a thumbs up, and that way I'll know to give the next instruction. So whoever's done first, okay, got a couple. Please paint a sad leaf. A sad leaf.
On the same page?
You're one thing on each page. So
Okay,
you want
sorry.
a leaf? Yeah, a leaf on each page. So everything I say, you're going to have one of each on each page. Unless you interpret that differently.
Could you repeat the second one?
A sad leaf.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And again, if you're done, thumbs up, okay. Brandon is speedy quick. The race is on. Okay, a son that is in love. Okay, I saw a thumbs up from Cole. Okay, Lisa, Sia. An infinite line. An infinite line. Okay, we got thumbs up from Jen and Jenna. So I'd like you to color in a space on each page. Color in a space. And to answer your question in the chat, Cindy, interpret as you wish. Please paint a blob of mud. Now, Jen is speedy quick. Oh, and Sia. Okay, so now I'd like you to take one of your pages and rotate it. So just flip its orientation. Okay. Please close off a section. Close off a section.
Of each page or just the page we turned?
Every instruction is for each page. I shouldn't even answer. Just add whatever you think it means. Okay, got Adele and Sia. I forgot what the next one is. I change it. Normally it's the same all the time. So I forgot because I'm switching it up. Please paint a sad triangle. We already did a sad leaf. Well, I mixed up, you guys. A triangle of whatever emotion you wish. Please paint two parallel lines. Take two of your pages and switch where they are. Paint the feeling of summer. And please paint a personal mark. A personal mark.
What do you mean by a personal mark?
What does it mean to you? How do you interpret that instruction?
There's a lot of different things that come to mind is why.
Trust your first instinct. Don't think, just make the mark. Don't think about it.
Okay.
Okay. And if you wish, make one final adjustment of your choice on each page. Okay. So each of you should have 4 pieces of paper in front of you, 4 somewhat separate pieces of art. Now I invite you to arrange them in such a way that they become one artwork. So you can do whatever you wish to your pages. They can be exactly as they are. You can cut, fold, tear. You can just line them up. I won't say anything else. I'll give you a few moments here to create one unified or ununified composition. Okay, we got Jacqueline hard at work folding paper. We've got Angelina cutting paper. Oh, Harmony's got pieces of paper. Oh, little ripping little pieces. Cole looks very relaxed in the beautiful twinkling lights. Cole's done this before. Cole knows what's up. Oh, whoa. Trev's got some light installation happening. Okay, just a few more moments here, like 30 seconds. Jelena is saying in the chat, I'm laughing at mine because I did them in my baby art book back to back, trying to mash them. I got a dinosaur chasing an excited block in the sunlight right now. Okay, so if you're not done, you can sneaky continue to assemble whatever you're doing. And if you can, if it's accessible to you, you could either hold up, it might be in pieces, or maybe point your camera. And if it's too much too much effort to do that, don't worry about it. But if you are able to share what you have done, you can hold it up or share. Okay. Oh, Jenna Night Sky, yours is disappearing into the Zoom background, but it looks kind of like some installations, like some video work. Ooh, Jacqueline, very cool effect with the folding. Oh yes, Cole, I see your signature style, very powerful, expressive mark making. Oh, and Lisa, yours feels very earthy and organic to me. Sia, did you do yours in turquoise? Am I seeing turquoise there? Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yes, it
Oh,
is
yeah?
a turquoise because I didn't have black.
Okay.
And so this is the only color I had in my house.
That's great.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, okay. Oh, and it's folded too. Harmony got it all in the fingers, holding it all together. Is there some red on there too? Red and pink. Okay, another bit of color. And Adele, I love the negative space in yours, all the shapes, a lot of, I felt like round, soft edges. Oh, Cindy, that big sun. It looks almost like there's some storytelling in it. It's like it's very it feels narrative to me, like not so abstract. Still abstract, but not so abstract. And Susan, okay, it looks like symbols, different symbols. But I'll sorry, Brandon, I think I missed yours. I'm so excited. There's so many. Okay, and you use like a pen or a pencil. So, oh yeah, so thinner lines and maybe a bit more delicate mark making. Okay, cool. I like those lines inside your shapes. I don't know what that was.
Brandon, did you draw a chicken in there, a bird? You're all like an inch big on my computer, but I drew a chicken somewhere on here. So I was hoping I found a kindred spirit. Chicken.
I drew a starfish on this one.
Okay, I love it.
Oh, the
Oh
sun with heart
man,
eyes.
that makes me happy to know I'm not the only one who drew like that. Well, I thought it was supposed to be fun, so that's what I drew.
Oh, Chantal.
My
See, that's what I'm
infinite line
talking-
taped together with the words, "Where does it go?"
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I love hearing the laughter right now. I drew a picture of my son in love and clothes off. I don't know who has their clothes off though, but that was my interpretation of the closed off area.
These are very cool. Thank you for sharing.
I wish I could comment on all of them. I'm seeing Michelle with some color. I'm not sure if it was Priscilla. I saw something blue. Chantal's got all these like wild lines all over, so much energy. Jenna, it looks like, I guess you cut up your papers. I'm like, that is way more than 4 pieces. So that looks really cool. I love the like the spiral bound notebook there, like adding this texture. And Trev's was the blue one that I saw. Okay. Thank you so much. I am bursting with, I don't even know, I don't have the word. I love this more than anything. Thank you, Matna. This is such a gift to not only witness, but feel your creative expression in just this short amount of time. The power, the energy, the joy, the playfulness, and just the unique expression. And so the reason why I do this exercise each time is, one, because it fills me with so much joy, but because every time I witness something new. I can't count how many times I have guided this exercise and witnessed the creation from it. And it is, except for this time, I changed up the instructions a bit more, but that it's always a very similar, simple set of instructions. Everyone has the same amount of time. Everyone has almost the same materials. And yet you create something so different, but also somewhat the same. And so in life, we are given sets of instructions with often an expectation of a certain result. And artists are the one who often challenge that expectation. And so if we have, say, in a standard job situation where you have been tasked with doing something and there's a right way to do it, and you might have a deadline, a certain amount of time, and you might have limited materials and you've got some instructions. But often, if we interpret those instructions on our own or creatively, then we might be told that what we've done is wrong. It's not the right way, because there's only often one right way. Unless you work in a wonderful place, you work for yourself as an artist. And so in our lives—
Sorry to cut you off here, but
yeah,
it doesn't matter what we do for art. Everybody's an artist in their own way. Like somebody's gonna pay high money just for a stickman picture. Seriously.
yes, like
I'm super good at stickmen.
And I would frame all of your stickmen and have them on my walls and be so humbled to have them there.
Can we send you a stickman?
Oh, I would cry.
Cool.
Send me one too, girl.
Let's all get on it.
Let's do a stickman now.
Yeah, cave drawings.
Everywhere.
The cave drawings, man. Can't go wrong with cave drawings.
So I raise my hands to each of you I'm so grateful. And that to keep questioning, to keep critically thinking, and to answer your own questions. Or often I will be like, writing a grant application, for example, and being like, I don't know how to do this, or like, what's the answer to that? Think, what do they want to hear? And be like, what do I feel in my heart? How do I interpret that? What is my answer to that? And so this is also an exercise in intuition and in self-trust. And so I was like, oh, I shouldn't even be answering. And so trying to reflect the question back to you. What does it mean to you? How do you interpret it? Your answer is the right answer. And there is no, like, even that binary thinking of right and wrong, there's an infinite space in between, an infinite space of infinite creativity. And all of us are unified in that space. So I could go on and on about this, but thank you, thank you, thank you. And we've got 3 minutes to go over the code of conduct and the course outline, but that's okay. I prioritize this because I can just email you that as documents, but I will quickly screen share the presentation so that I can also share your assignment. Okay, so yeah, I will maybe go over this at the beginning of next class because it is important. I have full faith that all of us are here for good reasons and to support ourselves and each other. And so even just feeling that from each of you. And so this is kind of a formality in a sense, but also just an important reminder. So I will send this to each of you and I will go over it at the beginning of next class. And the course outline, you all saw that when you registered. And so I don't really need to go through that, but if you have any questions, feel free to email me at any time. You can call me and I'll probably talk your ear off, so be careful. But the assignment is here. I invite you to make a list of 3 to 5 artists who you admire and to note what is it about their practice and perhaps their career that speaks to you. Why do you connect with them? Why do you connect with their art or where they are at in their career? What draws you to them? And then, if you can, save some links to their website or social media account, or if you're old school, you've got a book, or you want to go to the library.
But what if we can't like connect to their social media or anything if they passed away?
Then that's okay. These are more for just suggestions of how you might be able to share their work with us. That
I met those 2 Carvist brothers. The ones that work out here, they were doing West Coast art. They were carvers out here. The 2 brothers are homeless. I met them at the homeless camp a few times, and I've bought some of their artwork, and they've always been like my inspiration to keep myself going for art. So I can't necessarily produce anything besides what they were, unless it's like a CBC thing, like an interview that they did with them before they passed away.
If there's any sort of resource on the artist that speaks to you, then you can share that, or maybe you can just write how you discovered them. If you've met them in person, then great. Just some way of a connection to them.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. Then I'll do that.
Great question. Yeah, I worked with a local artist here who doesn't use email, And so participated in a workshop and did the application form over the phone and all of that. So yeah, not everybody's on the grid, which is great if that works for you. So yeah, so this list of artists who you admire, who inspire you, who you may look to them perhaps as a model as we move through this course. And so I have 2 artists in mind that I'm going to use as examples throughout the course, sharing their artist statement, their bio, their CV, and perhaps some awards and grants that they've won, so that we can connect to a narrative of one artist as opposed to being like, oh, here's this example. So you can see how it all ties together from one person's career arc. But just because I'm sharing those perspectives, I'd love for you to have other perspectives and for us to share them with each other. And so once we've got the Mighty Network up and running, I'm going to be popping these questions into I don't know what it's called. There's like specific jargon, but into like a chat forum in the Mighty Network where I'll just type this question in and you can answer it in there when you're ready. And so that's how you can submit your homework if you wish to. All these assignments are optional. They're for you. They're an invitation. Do not feel any pressure if you have a very full week and you don't get to it. And I'll talk a bit more on that next week, but honoring everyone's time. It is 8:03. And so we're going to call it a night. So feel free to reach out to me with any questions. Please let me know if you're planning to miss a class. We are offering a living wage subsidy for your participation. So every class that you attend, you will receive a $45 subsidy, and those will be paid at the halfway mark and at the end. And again, more information on that to come. And so I wish you all a wonderful evening. Matna, thank you so much. Take care. Wishing you wellness and creativity.
Good night. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Cal Pumpkin.
Seeing you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
See.